Good morning and welcome to day 3 of the third annual WSOP Spaces coverage. I'm Sherry Pluskota, aka Peaches, and I will be your host this morning. And I see ASG and Brad Nesser are here. They're part of my co host crew, and I see Isaac's joining us as well. Good morning, you guys.
Morning.
Glad you guys can join us this morning. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but we're going to muddle through this. Many thanks to Elevator Results, who's been my sponsor for the last couple of years. If you need a tailor-made workout plan to help you lose weight or gain weight, Elevator Results can design that plan. Follow them on Twitter and check out their site at elevatorresultspt.com. Don't forget you can find the recordings of my past spaces, including our daily WSOP coverage and our daily WPT coverage on my YouTube channel at Sherry Pluskota 9212. Please subscribe when you go there. Appreciate you. Also, the fifth annual, I'm sorry, I keep wanting to say annual. The fifth official Spaces Meetup game is June 21st at the Bellagio Poker Room at 1 p.m. It is a cash game, so please join us. We're going to have all kind of fun splash the pot items. It is a 1-3 game unless your table decides to play something else, and that's fine. Don't forget there'll be free pizza and there's also a shark trophy up for grabs. If you'd like to donate to the Splash the Pot items, please let me know. Again, June 21st, the Bellagio, 1 p.m. is our fifth official meetup game. Please be reminded that we always try to give the most updated and accurate information possible, but we are human and information in the poker world is always fluid. So please double check any information we're providing for you to ensure the best experience possible for yourself. And again, if we make an error and you catch it, please let us know because we do want the corrected information out there. I'm going to jump to the South Point schedule real quick. And the reason why is because they have a couple of cancellations. And then we'll go over the other schedules in just a few minutes. But I wanted to kind of get the word out because South Point has actually canceled their first tournament of the day, which is their 10-10 AM $120 no limit tournament that starts at 10 a.m. has been canceled for today. So I wanted to make sure I got that information out so that if anybody's planning to play it, they can make some different plans. Also, their 6:10 p.m. Deep Stack tournament is canceled for today. These are only cancellations, as far as I know, for today. That's the 10-10 and the 6:10 p.m. tournaments at South Point. Now, the other tournaments that will still be played are the 2:10 p.m. Turbo Bounty. It's a $120 buy-in, 5K guarantee. And my favorite tournament is the 10:10 p.m., which is that $120 Turbo Bounty. But at 10 p.m., it's a 3K guarantee. So, also want to note that the reason they canceled that 10-10 no limit tournament is because they have their summer kickoff tournament at 10-10, which is a $300 buy-in. And again, they have that tournament at 6:10 p.m. So those two normal tournaments are canceled for those summer kickoff tournaments today. And I assume they may make some changes tomorrow, but they only have day 2 tomorrow. So we'll see if there's any announcements from Jason and the folks at South Point in the morning. But right now, the normal 10-10 and 6:10 p.m. Tournaments have been substituted with their summer kickoff Flight C and Flight D $300 buy-in. So just wanted to get that out there real quick so nobody goes over thinking it's a $120 tournament and in fact it's their summer event and it's a $300 buy-in. Excuse me. Again, I'm not feeling well. So we're just going to try to get through this. All right. Don't forget the poker.org fantasy league team submissions end at noon today. So don't miss that deadline. There's no charge. It should be a lot of fun for everybody to sweat a team. Um, those that have followed my Twitter in the last 24 hours, I was having difficulty logging into my poker.org account. And I actually submitted twice for a reset of password, never received a code. So then I tweeted, never got a response. So then somebody suggested Facebook messaging. I did that, no response. I also went through the website contact us option, no response. And then finally, somebody came to my rescue, and I need to look up his name real quick because I don't want to get it wrong because you guys know I am horrible with names. But he came to the rescue with a suggestion that I just um, create a new account with the same email address because he did the same thing and it worked. So thanks to Kenny Blame, who Ken told me answered one of my tweets and said to create a new account using the same email address. And I did, and it worked. So if any of you are logging into your existing account, just create a new one with your same email address, and it seems to work. I don't know if they had some bugs they're working out or whatever, but it was a little frustrating. Uh, and made worse by the fact nobody was replying, of course. So that's the poker org contest. Don't miss it, you guys. And I'm also happy to say that I did get my fantasy league, the OD Baker team, excuse me, submitted yesterday, and we're not going to talk much about it because the deadline is at noon, and I, would be very happy if we were the only ones with the team that we put together. So I don't want anybody to know who we picked, right? So we've had a lot of fun in that process, or at least ASG and I have. I don't know about the rest of the team members, but we certainly have, haven't we, ASG?
Yes, and although we won't talk about our own team, given extra reminder slash heads up to our listeners that Poker.org is having a free version of that contest minus the bonus player aspect for you to make your own team with a $200 budget. And if you win that, I think it's just one prize. They're giving away a $10,000 buy-in to any future event in the next year. So it's like after the main. So it's like end of July this year to end of July next year. Um, that you can use on any $10,000 buy-in event. I'm not sure in Vegas or anywhere, but yeah. So go to poker.org and they have that same contest going there. Submit a team. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Um, and thank you for talking about the prize that you can use it over the next few months after the main event, because I definitely forgot to mention that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Be reminded the WSOP is May 27th through July 16th. The main event kicks off July the 2nd through the 16th. Definitely exciting time of year. Poker is alive and well in Vegas. John Sunnuto's celebration of life is June 15th at 11 a.m. at the Tap House located at 5589 West Charleston Boulevard, Las Vegas. Please don't forget to RSVP. I did post a flyer about that on my Twitter feed. You can scroll down, and I'll continue to post it every so often. But definitely make sure you RSVP so they're prepared for your arrival, as they say. Ladies' Week in Vegas will be June 22nd through the 28th. And the ladies' warm up event is June 24th at 6 p.m. And that's a $150 tournament. And the reason why I always bring it up is because it's not on the normal WSOP schedule. So it's kind of hard to find. So I just want to continue to bring awareness to that. Again, for those that are just tuning in, the 10 a.m., the 10:10 a.m., and the 6:10 p.m. tournaments at South Point are canceled for today. They've been replaced with their summer kickoff flight 1C and 1, no, no, I'm sorry, 1E and 1F. I think I said C and D earlier, but it's actually their 1E and 1F flights for their $300 buy in summer kickoff. So I'm repeating that because I'm afraid somebody's going to go out the door and get there after paying a $35 Uber only to find out the tournament they want to play is not there. So, anyway, here we go. Um, ASG, you want to give us a quick update on um, your one shot promo, please, sir?
Sorry, what? One shot promo?
Oh, not, I'm sorry. I said ASG. I told you I'm a little whacked this morning. I
Okay.
meant Isaac. I meant Isaac. Sorry.
Definitely, definitely. Good morning, everybody.
Hey,
Uh, yeah, the GVG One Shot is our satellite that we have put together for the WSOP main event. It is a 27-seat satellite. Every seat is $600. That gets you access to a game, no limit hold'em, 1 hour late registration, 21,000 chip starting stack, and like we said, it's a single game elimination. The winner chooses either a 10K seat to the main event with accommodations, or they can opt for a final table chop where they're going to get the lion's share and the rest of the final table is going to get a payout. Um, if you guys want any more information, you can join our Discord, open up a ticket, and we will gladly help you. We are going to be running this campaign for another, I think, maybe another week and a half before we tally and see, or sell out, either one, whichever comes first. We have done this before. Last year, we also did something almost very similar, which was the GVG 500, where we were able to award the final two a chop because neither one of them could make it to the WSOP. So this year, we are aiming for somebody to take it down, take the ticket, go to the WSOP so that we can be there as a team to rail whoever that is. Let me see what other information. We are going to be hosting the game on our server in Club GG, so that is where the game will be posted. And yeah, I think that is
awesome. You
everything
have
I
a
have for
1
that.
in 27 chance, people, to win that main event seat. That's a pretty good rate of return for $600 investment. So reach out to Isaac if you're interested in doing that, of course. I'm going to move on to Caesar Palace and their tournament schedule for today. At 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., they have a $120 buy in with a $50 add in, 15,000 K starting stack, 20-minute blinds, 1K guarantee. At 2 p.m. and 9 p.m., they have a $160 buy in with a $50 add on, 20K starting stack, 20-minute blinds with a 2K guarantee. Again, that's at Caesar's Palace. Over at Resorts World, they have a 1205 and a 705 tournament, and they're both a $200 no limit, 25K starting stack, 30-minute blinds with a 3K guarantee. That again's at Resorts World. Today at Mandalay Bay, they have a at 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. They have a $60 no limit tournament, 10K starting stack, 15-minute blinds, and there is no guarantee over there at the Mandalay Bay. Isaac, you want to give your tournament schedule for your venues, please?
Absolutely. Okay, first off, we have the Westgate. Westgate has a 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. $45 buy-in, no limit hold'em tournament. 7 p.m. $65 buy-in, no limit hold'em tournament. 9 p.m. $60 buy-in, no limit hold'em tournament as well. Additionally, they host a 3 p.m. Lazy Pineapple tournament with a $45 buy-in. Over at Planet Hollywood, there are 4 daily no limit hold'em tournaments at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. Each tournament has a $100 buy-in and offers a starting stack of 20,000 chips. And lastly, over at Red Rock hosts daily no limit hold'em tournaments at 10:35 a.m. The buy-ins vary by day. Monday to Thursday, it's $125 buy-in. Friday to Sunday, it's $150 buy-in, and each tournament offers a starting stack of 25,000 chips.
Awesome. Thank you for those updates, bud. Appreciate you. All right, moving and ASG, if you could get the new Golden Nugget schedule out, and when I read it, if anything I'm reading has changed in that new schedule, could you stop me, please?
Sure. So the new schedule is on the jumbotron.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Just for everybody's knowledge base, Golden Nugget put out another revised schedule yesterday. And quite honestly, I'm not feeling well, so I didn't do a side by side comparison. Although Isaac did give us a is it chat PT? I forget what it's called. Whatever. He did one on the
Yeah, we got
AI.
a chat GPT and we ran both schedules next to each other. It gave me a list of some stuff. It's not huge changes. I mean, there's changes to the starting stacks, and then they've added some games. But do you want me to pull up the info that I shot you yesterday,
Yes,
Sherry?
I'm going to let you read it in just a minute. Let me go ahead and get the rest of these tournaments out of the way, and then we'll get to the Nugget. And that's just because people are trying to get out the door, so they may need this information. So, over at the Venetian today is a no limit tournament, $600 buy-in, 50K guaranteed. That starts at 11:10. That's over at the Venetian. At the Aria, they have a no limit $800 buy-in with a $150,000 guarantee. That starts at 11 a.m. And just an FYI for you hoodie lovers, Paul Campbell. Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm really not feeling good. Paul Campbell put out a tweet that they're giving a hoodie to all the people that make it to the final table. And they did that the last series they hosted as well. So if you make a free final table over at the Aria, you're going to get a hoodie. So I think that's pretty cool. Over at the Win today, they're going to have their final table um, of their No Limited event at noon. At noon, they're also going to have a $600 No Limit tournament, and it's a 50K guarantee. Starts at noon. 1,700 hours um, is a satellite to the $1,600 seniors event. It is a $300 buy-in with a 5-seat guarantee. At 1,800 hours is a turbo event, $600 buy-in, a 50K guarantee. Again, that's over at the Win. Today at the MGM at 10 o'clock is a PLO Day 1A. It's a $200 buy-in, 25K start. I'm sorry, 25K guarantee. At 1,800 hours is day 2 of their No Limit event. At 1,400 hours is Best Game PLO Flight 1A, and that is a $600 buy-in, 100K guarantee. At 1,800 hours is the PLO Flight 1B, $200 buy-in, 25K guarantee. At 2,100 hours is the No Limit event. It's a $150 buy-in with a 3K guarantee. Again, that's over at the MGM Grand. Over at the Orleans today is a triple draw starting at 11. It's a $600 buy-in, 30K guarantee. At 1,600 hours is their Survivor 1K, a $125 buy-in, 15K guarantee. At 1,800 hours is a no limit tournament, $200 buy-in, 15K guarantee. And at 2,200 hours is their Survivor, $125 buy-in, $1,500. No, that must be $15,000. I don't know. One of them says 1,500, the other says 15,000. Um, Let me see what it says on tomorrow's. It's the same thing at tomorrow. So double check that guarantee because one of the survivors says it's a $15,000 guarantee and the other one says 1,500. So I can't think that it's not a typo, you guys. So definitely double check that information if you plan on going to play at the Orleans. Over at the Horseshoe at 9 a.m., at 2 p.m., at 5 p.m., and again at 11 p.m. in the Hall of Fame Horseshoe Poker Room is a $100 no limit tournament, 20K starting stack, 15-minute blind levels with a 1K guarantee. At 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. in the same poker room at the Horseshoe is a $160 no limit tournament, 20K starting stack, 20-minute blinds with a $1,500 guarantee. So that's what's going on over at the Horseshoe today. Now let's look at the Golden Nugget before I go into the WSOP. So again, there's a new schedule. So double check, people. We're going to try to catch it as we go, but you never know. We can make a mistake. Happens all the time. 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock is their Mystery Bounty Flight 1A. It's a $300 buy-in, a $250,000 guarantee. At 1300 hours is a Big O tournament, and when they changed their schedule the first time, this was a mixed tournament, but now it's a Big O tournament. It's a $400 buy-in, 40K guarantee. At 1500 hours is their Mystery Bounty Flight
That's now
1B.
a 30K guarantee.
Which one?
That Big O is now a
Big O?
30K.
Thank you. So that guarantee was changed, and we're going to go over probably why when we get to it in just a minute, because they didn't meet their guarantees, their guarantee the other day. So at 1500 hours is the 1B flight of that Mystery Bounty, $300, 250K guarantee. 1700 hours is the Deuce to 7 triple draw, a $250 buy-in, a 10K guarantee. At 1900
That's
hours
now
is
a
their no limit.
7,500 guarantee.
Thank you. $7,500 guarantee, people, from a 10K. All right. At 1900 hours is the Flight 1C of the Mystery Bounty. It's a $300 buy-in and a 250K guarantee. So that's what's going on over at the Nugget. ASG, why don't you tell us about them having an overlay the other day and what the details are?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, at least day one, they had a number of overlays in their tournaments. So, for example, they had um, the $200 tournament with a 20K guarantee, which means that you'd need 100 people just to hit the guarantee. If you didn't include the rake, that only got 66 people. So there was a over $3,000 overlay, and that didn't even include them not deducting the rake. So yeah, and it was the same thing for another tournament that day as well. I did not see any tweets from them about yesterday's results to know if the same thing happened yesterday. But yeah, they were getting hit pretty hard early with their small tournaments not hitting their guarantees. I don't know if they did any better for themselves yesterday.
And I don't either. And quite honestly, I'm a little disappointed that they came right away and changed the guarantees. I don't think it's ever a good look for a venue to change guarantees after they have published it for a month or however long their schedule's been out. I don't think it's a good look. Like sometimes you have to absorb that, right? And now I
I
could
mean,
see if they were like 8 tournaments in with 8 overlays. Okay, maybe I would give a little leniency, but we're talking about like 2 tournaments.
yeah. However, I'll at least give them credit that I've seen other locations that in the past have flat out canceled their tournaments rather than not pay the guarantees. So at least they had the tournaments that they did run go without hitting the guarantee, and just adjusted how they felt accordingly going into the future rather than screwing over people after things were already running.
I totally agree. Totally agree. And hopefully their numbers are going to go up. And so they won't have to be worried about making those numbers, right? Because they, they're in the business of making money, not losing money. So we all get it. And hopefully their numbers are going to go up and support their efforts because they are working hard on our behalf. So uh, hopefully those numbers are going to go up.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to the WSOP schedule. Event number one, which is the Mystery Millions. They had 70 runners on day 1A move on, and yesterday was day 1B. They had 1,833 runners yesterday, and 84 runners move on to day two. And of course, today will be flight 1C. So good luck to those runners. Event number two was the $500 industry employees tournament. Um, 138 folks out of 914 runners get paid, and I'm gonna screw this guy's name up, so I'm just gonna spell it, you guys. And yes, there's a little controversy around this employee event again this year. We'll talk about it in a minute. But our first place winner, who took home 64,000, was PHOVIENG KEOKHAM was your first place winner of that event. So, congratulations to him. And our second place winner for over $42,000 was Christopher Zolo. And there's a little controversy, which we're going to get into in just a minute, surrounding his name. And the min cash for that tournament was $1,006. So that was the industrial employee tournament, a $500 buy-in. Event number four, day one was yesterday, and that was the $1,500 Omaha high-low 8 or better. They had 910 runners. 224 are going to move on to day two, and 137 will be paid. With the new website and trying to check for information, I could not find who our chip leaders were. So sorry, can't give you that, but I can tell you that up at the top, the winner's going to get 205,000, and second place is going to get 136,000, and min cash will be 3,027 for that event. Event number three, which was the 5K 8-handed no limit day 1A, had 558 entries with 205 moving on to day two. There were no names nor prizes posted, so can't give you any chip leader names. Sorry, you guys. On to today. At 9 a.m. is the $250 seniors deep stack. That'll be the first one of the series. They're going to be every Thursday at 9 a.m. is that $250 deep stack for seniors. 10 a.m. is Flight 1C for the Mystery Millions. At 12 p.m. is event number 5, which is a 5K pot limit Omaha, day 1. That's at 12 p.m. Then at 12 p.m., event number 3, day 2 will begin, and that's that 5K 8-handed event. At 1 p.m., event number 4, day 2, is that $1,500 Omaha high-low 8 or better will begin at 1 p.m. 1 p.m., you'll also see the start of a $250 deep stack, event number 119. At 2 p.m. is event number 6, $1,500 7-card stud, day 1. At 3 p.m. at the WSOP is event 120, $240 landmark satellite. At 4 p.m. is at 4 p.m. is event number 122. It's a $240 warm-up event to the Mystery Millions. At 4 p.m. is event 121, the $400 deep stack, which of course is every day at 4 p.m. 6 p.m. is event 123, $2,700 heads up, no limit mega satellite. 7 p.m. is event 124, $580 landmark satellite. And the last event at the WSOP for the night will be the 8 p.m. event number 125, the daily deep stack, a $200 buy-in, And of course, that's every night at 8 p.m. So that's what's going on around the WSOP today, as well as all of our other venues that we covered. Now let's go back to that name, Christopher Zolo, because I think you guys are going to hear that name several times today. Picture this: the poor guy, or should I say, the amazing guy, is at the final table of the industrial industry employee event, and he's heads up when he's interrupted by the powers that be, and they want him to go on to the WSOP Plus app and change his name or his handle on the app. Did you see this, ASG or Isaac? Did you read?
Yes, and I have a further follow up once you're done with
Okay.
the part you are telling.
Okay,
Awesome.
so the poor guy's heads up, right, for this huge amount of money, and he gets interrupted by staff and is told to go onto the app because his handle is suckme69 and they want him to change it. But couldn't they wait until he was finished, for God's sakes? I mean, the man's in heads up. Anyway, um, Zolo did put a message on the app later that said, Tilted, they made me change my name from suckme69 when heads up in the industry event, and it mushed me right into second. Hashtag second, number two industry employees, hashtag mush, hashtag suck me. Poor guy. Go ahead, ASG. What do you want to add? ASG, you there, bud?
Yeah, so while he was heads up, I was trying to find who I saw this on, whose tweet I saw about this. But while he was heads, oh, unfortunately, I didn't like it or
Was
anything.
it Texas Mike's tweet? He put a tweet out.
As I said, I honestly don't know who it was, and I can't find it.
Okay.
But somebody had posted in the recaps that while he was heads up, he did get it all in with he
Six
shoved
nine.
all in with 6 9 offsuit, and he actually did hit the flop, but then a queen. He got it all in versus ace queen. He actually did hit the flop, but then a queen hit the turn, so he almost won the pot with 6 9.
Well, and you know what's funny you said that because I think I took a screenshot. Hold on, let me look. Um, because somebody I saw the same thing. Oh yeah, oh it was Skull Mike from Austin, Texas at the lodge. Skull Mike said Chris Solo was one of the most insane stories of all time, all tournament long. Um, he's under the name Suck Me 69 in the WSOP app. Heads up for the bracelet event in number one event. The floor makes him change his name on the app, and then Skull Mike adds he ends up four bet jamming 6 9 even in chips for the bracelet and spikes a 9 on the ace queen versus ace queen. And I think the queen came on the turn. I had a screenshot of that as well. Let me see. So the flop was, give me 1 minute to find it, you guys. The turn was the queen. The turn was the queen. So he flopped a 9 on the flop, and the opponent flopped a queen. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I need to get off these meds. My brain is fried. The opponent turned a queen to win the hand, but you know, the poker gods were at it, right? Because they're making a scene about his name, and then he actually jams with 9 6, and so these are stories you just can't make up, right, you guys?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Had you heard that before right now, Isaac?
No, that's why I'm like, first off, dude's name is already legendary, right? But like, how they gonna pull the cuck move and come to you on the fucking final table heads up, like, hey, we need you to change their name? What bozo, right, in staff just figured, oh, this is the time to go get a name change? That
Yeah,
that
I'm not
that's
sure,
beyond
but
me. That's beyond me right now.
yeah,
Well, I
I
think they
just
saw
not
the
a good.
people. I think they saw the people tweeting about how this name was there, and they didn't want to have anybody have a screenshot of like the winner of this tournament is Sex Me 69.
Yo, that
So
would have been so
yeah,
amazing, though. Can you imagine handing it to him and
yeah.
saying,
What
yeah,
would
you
have been
know,
extra funny though is if the guy was like, "Well, it's no phones in the final three tables, so I don't have it on me. Sorry." Um,
yo, dude, that's what I'm talking about.
Touche,
That would have been
touche.
amazing. That would have been amazing.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's quite a story, and it's going to be one of those folklore stories we're going to always say. Remember when they interrupted this guy heads up to make him change his app name? So funny. I laughed so hard. It really tickled my funny bone reading about that this morning. All right, moving on. Kevin Mathers is working triple time this year with the implementation of this new app. And apparently, the new WSOP Plus app doesn't like AOL email addresses, so don't even attempt it with an AOL mail address. Poor Karen Chess has to get use one of her backup email addresses. And newly noted, doesn't really like email addresses in the iCloud. And so I'm going to read kind of a heartfelt, I think, tweet from Kevin yesterday, because I just think it's kind of a heartwarming story, right? So let me try to get it up here. I thought I had it queued, but of
okay,
course, I was looking for something
okay.
else.
While you're, I'll vamp a little and just that I agree with a lot of people though. Yeah, you shouldn't be going up to change it at this last minute when you're about to be heads up, but also there is no reason that the WSOP Plus app should be allowing nicknames. Like
Well, you know
it's
what
pretty
it
ridiculous.
is? I'm going to tell you what I figured out. It is their GG Poker name because remember they merged GG Poker. Even my poker staking is been merged onto this app
Yeah,
and
but either way, they should just be
WSOP.
putting their real name, not their
I don't
GG.
disagree. I don't disagree. I'm just saying that's where it's coming from. So it's like automated. So the person didn't put it in like that. The
Yeah,
system picked it up like that. So I
and
want us to
and
be
it's
clear
so
that,
automated that when I was looking up, and this isn't even the WSOP app, but just in general about using names versus screen names. That when I was looking up, oh, now I'm forgetting his name. The guy Israel, the guy we were talking about yesterday with the WSOP record. I found an
right?
article saying it was broken and he won a bracelet, but then I went to his Hendon Mob and that event isn't even listed as his bracelet win. And I go to the event and it has first place not listed. It's like the name is blank because I guess the username never translated over to his
Oh,
actual
Jesus.
name and account. So as far as Hendon Mom is concerned, he still hasn't won a bracelet.
Well, and all he has to do is submit it to Hendemog because they're really good about getting it
Well,
right.
it looks
And
like they
so if
have
you send
everybody
them an
but him. I
email,
don't know what's going on.
well, who knows? Who knows? But he could submit it via email and they'll be happy to take care of it. Those folks work hard to make sure they're providing the right information. So that's for sure. You may want to reach out to him and let him know and tell him to email him.
I didn't see him on
Um,
Twitter. Maybe I missed his account though.
I mean, you could actually email it, hand in mob form if you wanted
Oh,
to.
that's true.
That's up to you. All right, I'm going to read this tweet by Kevin. It's a little lengthy, but I think it's worth it because it's just a really heartwarming story. So kudos to you, Kevin Mathers, again and again. I was helping someone last night who had been frustrated with waiting 4 hours in line to register for the Mystery Millions and couldn't get registered. He had an old iPhone, and for whatever reason, it was directing him to an iCloud email address that he said someone had set up for him long ago. Over an hour later, after working with me and Marie, one of the employees in player services, we get him set up with a brand new WSOP Plus account and get him registered. I look for his name in the chip counts and see he's listed in the top 10. Michael Fess, 89 years young, will likely never see this tweet, but I'm happy he's made it to the money and hope I'm sorry, I gotta scroll. And I'm happy he's made it to into the money and hope he bags tonight. So kudos to you, Kevin Mathers, for helping that young guy out. Love that story. All right, I see that Matt has joined the panel, and I know Matt, you have a story you want to share with us, so I'm going to give you time right now to do it. Go ahead, my friend.
Hello, Sherry, and to everybody. Hope you're keeping well over there across the Atlantic.
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Yes, the story, as I promised you. Well, I've been promising you for past 2-3 weeks now, or maybe 3 months, or maybe even 3 years. I don't know. Anyway, so what happened was my uncle works in this casino here in Leeds. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me, Sherry? Because I'm
Yes.
I'm having a couple of issues there.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, good. And am I allowed to mention the name of the casino, Sherry? If that's
Sure,
okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. It's called the. Sorry again. It's called the Grosvenor Casino. It's a massive casino that we've got here in Leeds.
Okay.
Where my uncle works. He's big time supervisor there. So, we were saying about you've been discussing on Spaces lately about rebuys, yeah?
Right.
So this guy came in. He bought. Let's say it was Texas Hold'em. There were 500 people that entered. He made it to the final table, right?
Nice.
But when he got to the final table, this is where things get a little bit nasty. Because what happens is they have a limit of rebuys so that you don't go over, your budget. Like when you set a deposit when you
Right.
put money in the machine and that, and you can set deposit for what they call safer gambling, right? So this guy came in and he were doing all in, then a rebuy, all in, rebuy, and so on. He did it 30 times.
All right.
And the limit was 3.
Oh.
And they were thinking, and then my uncle went over and said, excuse me, you've been, because he has to monitor all the ins and outs, of course, keeps an out staff, make sure everything's okay. And then this guy got really, really angry, and he said, well, look, we're only limiting people to rebuys. Oh, you could have told me that earlier on. Well, we did tell you because it was on your piece of paper that they gave you, to let everybody know. And he got really aggressive. He was swearing at people for no reason. He were drinking like mad as well. And not only that, the worst part of it was he got the table legs from underneath. You know what it's like on the poker tables, those little
Right.
legs. And he pushed it right over the top, and everything went all on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And it was a very tough situation. My uncle got, unfortunately, a black eye out of it, which wasn't nice. Really.
So let me ask you this, Matt. Did they let him finish playing the tournament?
Well, for him, they were going to do, but because he was really aggressive with everybody, swearing and carrying on, they
kicked him out.
Yeah, they not only kicked him out though, Sherry. This is the other bit as well, and I think they did. I don't know what your view is on this, but they banned him for life.
As he should be. He should be
Yep.
banned for life for sure. But I'm just curious, if he had not acted a fool and turned the table over and yelled and screamed, would they have let him finish the tournament even though he rebought 30 times when he wasn't supposed to?
You would have thought that they would have done, Sharon. I think they would have done, given the probably the discretion of whoever it was in charge. But in this particular case, because of his behaviour and whatnot, they just said, "Look, we're not having this. You've got a really bad attitude with everybody."
Right, understandably so. But my point, what comes to my mind is, and for those that don't know, the UK is very proactive with trying to keep people playing within their budget, so to speak. So, like, they will ask you to prove your income. They will ask you to prove information that you would be, if it was here in the States, you would be like, fuck off, that's none of your business. But so just so you know that they really are proactive in trying to keep gamblers, players uh, in the casino setting, in their eyes, in a safe place in their budgets. And so that's why there's a three limit rebuy, because, and he was, kind of questioned. But my problem is that you have this rule in place and yet you let him rebuy 30 times and then you're trying to address it at the final table. Like, it should have never gotten to 30 rebuys, in my opinion.
Completely agree with you, Sherry, 100%. They're very a little bit. I don't know how it is with your casinos over there, but with ours, like you rightfully said, they are a little bit, as you say, very proactive in terms of rebuys. So that's why they limit you so that you don't go over your, how much that you have. So if you have £100, say in our money, they'll only let you go up to 100. And if you're putting more in, you've got to give a valid reason. And if it's not a valid reason, then they don't let you. But they did actually, Sherry, on that basis, they did let him, believe it or not, finish off the tournament, but they let him only do it then and then on one hand because they knew he was going to go all in. So they said, look, do your all in, and then that's it.
Wow. That was a crazy story, Matt. Thank you for sharing with us. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. We
You're
hear
welcome. I
something
wish,
new
I wish
every
it was a
day.
bit more positive, Sherry, but
No, I
these things happen.
look, we want to hear all stories. I mean, as part of the poker world, we want to hear all stories, because we can't make the poker world better unless we hear the good and the bad. And that goes for anything in life. If you want to go from good to great, you have to be willing to listen to the not so great so you can improve it to take it to the great. So we definitely want to hear all the stories, for sure. So thanks for sharing that with us. I'm going to remind everybody that the Chess Festival is in Vegas from June 6th through June 8th. That's the Chess Festival. Moving right along, I'm going to give some winners around town. Sung Bin Ma took down event number 15, which was a $600 pot limit Omaha tournament at the Venetian for over $13,000. And Jan Niv, I think it's Pertez, took down event number 14 at the Venetian, which was a $600 monster stack for over 11,000. And Sebastian Lampria took down event number 13, which was a $600 limit Omaha 8 or better tournament, and he took home $14,000. So, congratulations to those winners around town. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get Karen up here. She might not be able to come up and speak because, she's maybe at graduation. I can't remember if graduation was today or tomorrow, but she's got one of her sons graduating this weekend, and it's very exciting. So glad to see you in the audience, Karen. Hope you're well and having fun with those kids. Um, I'd like to jump over to, there she is. Hey, Karen.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, I had a moment in the day. We just packed up my son's dorm and we're all back at our respective hotels and then we're going to go to lunch. So I thought, let me see if Sherry's running the space still. I wasn't sure how long it would run.
Well, here we are. We're still going at it.
Oh,
Um, I can't imagine it's going to be much longer, but ASG is going to get us into the rakes, so could be another hour or two when we start talking about the rakes around town, right?
nice.
Yes, for sure. I want to give out a couple of lists for those of you that are going to be in Vegas or there already. If you dream of sailing through the skies in Vegas or around Vegas on a zip line, I've got a couple of choices for you. Don't forget to double check all the information I'm providing for the accuracy and updated information on the websites of these businesses. I want you to have the best experience possible, and so if I've made an error or they've updated their information since I collected this information, I don't want to spoil the fun for you. So please double check their websites. One of the zip lines I'm going to give you is the Slotzilla zip line, which is the Fremont Street Experience. Tickets start at $49. You can purchase your tickets online. Just as a side note, your personal items like phones, glasses, purses will be placed into a secure bag and attached to your equipment for the ride. That way, you won't, drop something on my head when you're flying above me on Fremont Street. The maximum weight is 300 pounds and the maximum height is 6'8". Rides last either 30 seconds or 1 minute, depending on the ride package you choose and pay for. So that is Slotzilla Zip Line. Over at the Link, they have a zip line. It's called the Link Zip Line, and it's in the Link Promenade. Tickets start at $49, and you can purchase them online. Minimum weight is 60 pounds with a maximum weight of 300 pounds and a maximum height of 6'8". Another zip line ish experience is over at the Strat, and it's actually a sky jump. To me, it's more like a parachute ride, really. It is an 829-foot open air jump, so it's not a zip line. Tickets start at $169 with special pricing for locals. You can purchase them online. Your personal items can be stored in a locker complete with a key. Jumpers have to be below 265 pounds. So there's some zip line and non zip line experiences you can do in Vegas. The other list I wanted to give out today is the Las Vegas magic shows, a couple of them. I'm not giving them all to you because there's dozens of them. So please, Google search it or whatever. And again, double check all the information I'm giving you. There is a paranormal, the mind reading magic show located at the Horseshoe. Tickets start at $52. Purchase them online. Then there is the Las Vegas shows Magic Theater, and tickets start at $40 for their shows, and you can purchase them online. And there is free parking at that venue. The Mike Hammer Comedy and Magic Show is located at the Four Queens in downtown Vegas, and tickets start at $40. Get them online. And let's not forget the world famous David Copperfield, located at the MGM. Tickets start at $71. Purchase them online. Now, that's just four examples of magic shows in Vegas. There are many more, so please search them yourself. I was trying to get Fats up here. I don't know if he's having technical difficulties or not. Sorry, Fats, if you are.
I don't even
Um,
see him in the space anymore on my screen.
yeah, he's gone. He may have gone to go back out. But if somebody wants to message him for me and let him know I was trying to get him up, I'd appreciate it. Those lists will be posted in the near future, so you can refer to them. But those are some suggestions of magic shows and zip line experiences here in Vegas. So, here in Vegas, I'm not there yet. I wish I was.
There's
Putting it
one that
out
I'm
to the
gonna
world.
look up. What's his name? Puffed the Magic Dragon. It's like this guy dresses up
Yes.
looks like a dragon and does like
I think
Yes.
it's
some
Piff.
something with cannabis or something.
Yes. I
Uh,
kind of skipped over that one for a reason, but go ahead. You can bring it to us
Yeah, it's
tomorrow.
Piff.
You
He
got
was
it.
on
You got it.
he won America's Got Talent one year, I think.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I've seen
Look,
the
that list can
billboard,
go on
and
and
I'm always
on
like, "You look
because
so sus."
there's so many of them. And the list can go on and on. But I have no problem. If you find one or two more and bring it to us, please do. That'll be great. ASG, you ready to go over some rakes for us?
Uh, yeah, sure. I need a couple of minutes.
Yeah, go ahead. Get ready, bud. For those of you that are tuning in, um, we try to go over a plethora of different topics in and around Vegas to try to help make everyone's experience better. Of course, we love the hot topics and gossip of the day, but there's so much going on in Vegas all the time that we just try to get it out there, especially for the newbies. Um, or the new stuff that's come out, right? That some of us may not be in the know about, like Mandolin Bay hosting satellites for the Aria series that's going on. I didn't know that until 2 days ago, and I love that. It's, I think, probably one of the best kept secrets thus far, but of course, we're letting the cat out of the bag. Um, but we want to talk a little bit about rakes around town. Um, for those that have tuned in over the last 2 years, have know that it's kind of a passion for me to make people aware, so that when you're deciding where you want to play, you have all the information in front of you. Our new players may not even think that it's such a big deal to even think about rakes. But if you're thinking about your bottom line, you should be thinking about the rakes. Some places are higher than others, and some places take great pride in trying to maintain their rakes and not go up again, you know, the next year. So it just depends on the operators. By no means am I or my guest host or anybody gonna, this is not a bash fest. This is an informative piece of our show so that people can decide where to play based on current information. Um, and we're going to talk about rakes around town. I asked ASG if he would bring that information to us, and he agreed. And as soon as he's ready, we'll
Yep.
get to it. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much as Sherry said, rake varies greatly, especially in cash. Rake is fairly consistent. You know, they might take an extra dollar or two for different promotional jackpots, but pretty much everywhere in Vegas, if you're playing 1-3, 2-5, or especially before you start playing time rake, they're taking the same amount out of the pot almost everywhere, with some rare exceptions. So, but in tournament rakes, rake can vary greatly. Typically, um, the larger the buy-in of the event, the lower the rake gets, because they're trying to have a dollar figure that pays their fees and their staff, and they make money. And the lower the buy-in, the more of a percentage that kind of takes out of the pot. So I go to I go to my poker filter here, and I'm looking at events that are under $1,000 in buy-in. And so an example would be, uh, actually, let me see if I can get just a $600 buy-in. Okay, I can't seem to figure out how to do that, but so I'll just look at a scatter shot of, at the Orleans today is a triple draw championship. That's a $600 event, and the rake is 14.2% there. At Now, if you want to, if you go to the Venetian, they have a no limit hold'em $600 50 gig guarantee. The rake is 15%, so not that much different.
Different.
It's the same 14.2% for the $600 tournament at the Win. But you also have slightly lower. You go to the MGM Grand, they have a $600 PLO. It's 13.3%. So you see, it varies 13, 14 ish in many places. But then let's say there is on June 1st at the Horseshoe, there's a no limit hold'em deep stack. No, wait, sorry. Let me. I think I'm on the wrong. Yeah, that's a $600 tournament. But despite the fact that they have other $600 tournaments with lower rake, that one has a 16% rake. So somehow the rakes can even change from at the same venue, depending on
Do you
which
think that could be
event
a
you
typo?
want to play.
Do you think that
Let
could be a
me
typo?
let me check here on the structure. And it says the $600 event number 10, no limit deep stack. Oh, it's because it's a deep. So it has. It says 11.2% withheld for entry fees, 4.8% for dealers and staff. So 11.2 plus 4.8 is 16%. So that is correct.
Okay, perfect.
So it might be because that one's a bracelet event versus their dailies. And
Okay, so that is not a horseshoe event. That's a WSOP event.
correct, it's at the Horseshoe, but it's
Okay,
a
that's a
WSOP event.
yeah, because we've been reporting on that the horseshoe is hosting tournaments in their um,
Yeah,
Hall of Fame room. I just want to make sure that we are saying that that's actually a WSOP event that you're referring to.
correct. So, but that shows you how much like here. Let me. So the bracelet events this year are they had a consistent liner. Unfortunately, they changed the website, so I no longer have the sheet on me that says like what the buy-in is at each percent rake.
Oh, hold on, I have it.
Um,
Hold on.
okay,
Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I
okay,
do have
but while she's
it.
looking that up, just to show you how much things can though careen into very high or much higher, the Golden Nugget is having a mystery bounty today. That's a $300, 250K guarantee, and you go, oh, cool. It's a low buy-in event, and you got this 250K guarantee. Well, they're taking 19.3% rake, and unfortunately, since they changed these structure sheets, we have to do the math myself. So, but basically, they're
And
taking
that's
$58 out of your $300 buy-in for the rake that you're never not part of the prize pool, never able to win.
right.
Same thing with the. Let me see if this is a bracelet or a horseshoe event. Okay, this looks the daily deep stack. They are taking $50 out of your $250 buying event. So these dailies, yeah, that's another example where they're taking 20% rake. So
All right.
these
I
happen
have
pretty frequently as you go to these smaller Vine events.
right.
However, like if um, as you go higher, you don't see it as much. But like the satellites, for example, they don't take nearly the amount of rake for it compared to their dailies. So you have a 100 $35 warm up, and they're only taking $30 out of that. So even on that, like, wait, 130? That is not what it said on the sheet. Somehow that info sheet is different than what I had. It said 240 on the sheet I was looking at, and then I clicked on structure, and it said 135. So I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So just be on the lookout for rakes, especially. I mean, typically, you'll see this a lot in the like. I don't want to completely call them out, but you see this a lot on the dailies at the Horseshoe, and you see this a lot at the Golden Nugget compared to other properties. The
Okay,
reason
so
why you see these a lot at these properties, though, is that the Golden Nugget has a lot of low buy-in events that cater to that crowd, and then they charge crazy high rake for that kind of thing. So,
all right, let me go over the rake at the WSOP,
okay,
so people can get a you know a some parameters.
yeah,
So the percentage will be withheld from the buy-in is for house fees, dealer slash staff tokens, and new tax. So I don't know what new tax means. The buy-in is a $300 buy-in. They're taking an 18% rake. A $400 buy-in, they're taking a 17% rake. A $500 buy-in, they're taking a 17% rake. A $600 buy-in, they're taking a 16% rake. A $777 buy-in, they're taking a 12.5% rake. An $800 buy-in, they're taking a 12.5% rake. $1,000 buy-in, they're taking a 12% rake. A $1,500 buy-in, they're taking an 11.5% rake. A $2,000 buy-in, they're taking an 11% rake. A $2,500 buy-in, they're taking an 11% rake. A $3,000 buy-in, they're taking an 11% rake. A $5,000 buy-in, they're taking an 8% rake. A $10,000 buy-in, they're taking a 7% rake. A $25,000 buy-in, they're taking a 6% rake. A $50,000 buy-in, they're taking a 5% rake. $100,000 buy-in, they're taking a 3.5% rake. At $250,000 buy-in, they're taking 1.5% rake. So those are all the rakes at the WSOP. Go ahead, Isaac.
I'm just kind of like amazed. I remember when I was taught about rakes, and this was very recently, that over 18% is kind of like not profitable. So it's interesting how many are 18% and above. And yo, WSOP though, 6% on 25K, man, they are cracking everybody. Like, wow. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting to
It
hear all
is.
these numbers. Like,
It
how do you
is.
win? In essence, I guess that's my thing is like, how do you win if that's the case, right?
well, I mean, it's the same. I mean, the how you win. Since Bats isn't here, I will give you his spiel of how you win. Is uh, Dan Negreanu infamously said at one time, "More rake is better," and he said this because if you go to the Golden Nugget and you play their $250 buy-in, let's say they have a $250 buy-in. I'm trying to find the one, but anyway, you go to their low buy-in tournaments, and they will. Here we go. They have a $250 buy-in, 50K guarantee, and they are taking a no, that one's not right. Anyway, but $56 out of the prize pool. So 56 out of the prize pool is 22.4% rake, but because it's 22.4% rake, the pros don't play there. So what you're trying to, what their argument is so now you're playing a softer playing field, but the rake's higher. So you're trying to make money by the fact that you're now playing a softer playing field.
Meanwhile,
I mean, that's always been Fats's argument: is you go there and the players
yeah.
are so bad that you can beat the rake. So that is a theory.
And this is Negreanu's logic again.
Well,
No, that's Fats is what.
Negreanu's logic is that more rake is better because when you have rakes this high, the pros don't play, and therefore it's more friendly to the wrecks. He used this theory when explaining why the rake at GG is so high online, because he's a big GG guy, and the pros always say regarding GG that you can't beat the rake because it's so high, and he goes, well, then that's better for the recreational player because it means the pros won't play there.
Yeah, but it also means that the Rex won't profit. I don't know. It's just crazy, yo.
Well, wouldn't it? I mean, you guys heard the rakes of the WSOP tournaments. Why not make the top end go up 1% each so the bottom end can lose some of those percentages? And, how about that? So the rec player, new player doesn't have to, beat such a big rake. Oh, what do I know?
Well, and then
Anyway,
yeah, and there's always been a conversation of like, should a min cash be twice the buy-in? Should a min cash be at 12% versus 15%? And that factors into that kind of stuff too. Um,
right.
you know, all I can say is if you look at the historical WSOP, um, even if you think the payouts are very top heavy now, if you look at what they were like back in the 90s, it's definitely gotten flatter. Even if you think it's not as flat as it should be.
Right on. No, I agree. Adjustments definitely needed to be made for sure. No doubt about it. But I think you can make a few more tweaks so that maybe that top end can absorb a little more. People are always complaining the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting taxed more. Well, here's a prime example. Um, you know, so anyway, that's just my 2 cents for what it's worth. 2 cents. Um,
And just to finish off this conversation,
please.
I can't speak for the Excel file, but if you go to uh, the Tableau that uh, Kim Unger makes, which is at her handle is at Wizard of Viz, VIZ, uh, and you go to that filter, you can see all the rake percentages, and on where it says info on the right, they highlight in they don't highlight the rake, but when you look at the info, they highlight in red every time the rake is higher than 15.4%, which is like, I guess, the calculated average around town during the summer.
Nice. Kim Unger, she has her, it's sort of a spreadsheet that has all the tournaments and she includes the rakes and filters as well. And definitely give it a look, people. The more you know, the
You
better
said Kim
informed you
Unger.
are.
I need her. I
Yeah,
need her at. I need her at.
it's,
That's what.
Wizard,
go
yeah,
ahead,
once
Abe.
again, it's Wizard of Viz. That's WIZARDOFVIZ.
Thank you very much, ASG.
There you go, people. That's a little bit about the rake around town, and we're not going to pound it to death, but we're going to mention it from time to time just to educate, inform, so on and so forth. So take it for what it's worth when you're making your decisions on where to play. And believe me, I'm going to play at the Nugget. I've told you all that. I like playing over there. Yes, the rake is high. I'm going to play over there. Um, so
And just because the buy-ins are low doesn't mean you have to have high rake. There are very few of, I mean, you could say they're catering to locals or whatever, but they're or their structures are often super fast. But um, you go to the Orleans and they have very reasonable rake most of the time.
absolutely. All right. Sandy, thank you for the question. Sandy, the new app you have to download, um, that I would say at this point is probably the most up to date with information, even though it's new and it's kind of struggling because it is new. We just have to be patient. Is the WSOP Plus app. You want to download that from the App Store, and it's very easy to join the app, and you will find all of the WSOP tournaments listed there. If you click on a tournament, and you can see find the results there, the structures, the payouts. I would just recommend going there at this point. They're still trying to figure it out and bridge some of those information gaps that we're seeing because of the new app, but it's getting better every day. I promise you it is. I just need to make mention, Brad, one of our co-hosts this summer. You guys may remember him being called Big Brain Brad in the spaces back in the day. He was here earlier, but he's busy working. I know work spoils everything. It's so overrated. But anyway, he's going to interview me later today on his Twitch channel if you want to tune in. I was very taken back and honored that he asked to interview me, and I'll be happy to do that with him. I love to talk poker, so if you guys want to tune into his Twitch channel today at 2 p.m. Pacific time, I'm sure he and I would appreciate that. So, looking forward to that interview. It's been I don't know, 6 or 8 months since I've done an interview, so looking forward to it. And yeah, that's on Brad's Twitch today. So join us. I'm going to go around the horn and see if anybody else has anything else they would like to add or bring up, comment about before we sign off for the day. And Karen, I'm going to start with you. She's probably running across her hotel room now to click that button.
Yeah, sorry. I had it minimized. Yeah, I'm good. Everything's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy that graduation and family time. It goes by quick.
It sure does.
ASG, what you got?
Uh, Nothing. I also did you hear? If the final table was all legitimate industry people besides the 69.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up because somebody asked me, where does this guy that won work? I don't even know. I have no clue. And I think it was probably left off purposefully just so this conversation doesn't start. What do you think?
No idea. I was just curious. It felt like the shaming worked, but because it felt like I didn't hear about any real pros entering or making it deep. So it feels like the shaming did its job, even if the rules got more lenient.
Well, and I didn't hear about Doug Polk playing in it, and I didn't hear about, you know, Joey or Alan or any of them playing in it, which, whatever. I mean, for God's sakes, Doug Polk owns a poker room. You don't think he's an employee? And it was so funny to me when people were saying, oh my God, now the vloggers can come on and play, like Doug Polk. Well, he didn't need to be a vlogger to play. He owns a card room. He is an employee. But anyway, what do I know? Uh, but I did kind of find it funny, for sure. Who cares? The more the merrier. The prize pool gets bigger with every person that plays. Although I don't think what the intention was when they started that tournament is what's actually happening these days, but whatever. Times, whatever. It'll be interesting to see if they have it next year. But anyway, Isaac, any last thoughts or comments or topics? Isaac, are you there? If not, I'm going to keep on cruising. He may be on a call. All right, you guys, we're going to sign off for the day. Appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate those that will listen on replay. Everybody matters. Hope you gather some information that's useful as we do this every day. And we will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. I appreciate everybody. Good luck if you're on the felt. If not, get out and touch that grass today, people. Take care.